Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to learn how to add weekly data for a student. Um, and in order to do that, you need to log in. I'm already logged into the system. And we begin by selecting the intervention that we've been working with the students on. So I'm going to go back to my student that I've been using so far. I'm going to click on literacy lessons. And here's Gina Hollinger. And I'm going to select her by clicking the box next to her. And then I'm going to select the box at the bottom that says Enter Weekly Records. Notice that it automatically makes me enter data for the first week. Now, the part of the way the system is designed that each week that passes between the time that the student begins an intervention and when you end that intervention has to be accounted for. So the first week following the first roaming that I put in for her is 9:23. So I'm going to enter in her text level, and I'm making this up, but we'll say something like text level 8. What book did she read? And maybe it was Bella and Rosie Trick or Treat. Now notice that if you've used a book before, you can see that it appears in your recent history list here. So you can just click on that. Running words, we'll say 124. She committed 2 errors, and she made 1 self-correct. Her writing vocabulary our first week was, 20, and I don't have any comments about this week. I next have to enter how many lessons did I put in. So we had all 5 lessons this week. Okay, if I do that, then notice that all of these boxes gray out. If, on the other hand, I say that there were 3 lessons this week, notice that these 2 boxes are now highlighted. And I have to say why each of those lessons was missed. And it could be that the student was absent, or they were unavailable, I was absent or unavailable, or that there was no school. And no school for whatever reason. Snow day, vacation, doesn't make any difference. Now, to help you save time, one thing that we've added is the function to say this entire week is not an intervention week. So if you have, for example, the week vacation between Christmas and New Year's, we could just check this off. Now, when you check this off, though, all of your information that you've entered up here is deleted because there is no intervention that happened that week. So I'm going to go ahead and say that we had 5 lessons this week and click Submit. Again, I had to click the Submit button twice. It has to do with the way that the server is pushing and pulling information. So if you need to do that, just go ahead. I can go ahead and add another record. If I click Gina again and add another week's data, notice that now it's on 9/30/2011. It's jumped ahead 1 week. Let's say that she's gone up to a level 9. Let's see. I'll pick another Bella and Rosie book. Actually, this is one I made up. Bella is a bad dog. My dog's name is Bella. Let's say that there's 136 running words in this book, and that Gina committed 3 errors this week. She made 2 self-corrects, and she added another 8 words to her writing vocabulary. She's up to 28. I'm going to say that I had 4 lessons this week, and the first one was because the student was unavailable. And again, see, I had to select it twice. I apologize for that. It's just something we'll need to work through until we can correct that problem. I click the Submit button, and now you can see that we've had 2 weeks of intervention and 9 total lessons. And we can see a summary here. Now, I can continue to add data for her. Now, I'm talking through this and doing this, but it's really just 2 or 3 minutes worth of work. Once you get good at this, you should be able to enter all of the weekly data for your kids, provided that you only have, say, 1 to 4 kids at a time that you're working with, even 1 to 8. Even with 8 children, this should take less than 10 minutes a week. With 4 kids, this should be less than 5 minutes. So I'll add 1 more week's worth of data for Gina. We can, maybe she's still at an 8. and Bella and Rosie at the opera, perhaps 168. Actually, 148, I think, is closer to correct for this. She committed 2 errors. She had 1 self-correct, and she's up to a 36 in writing vocabulary. We had all 5 lessons this week, and I submit. And notice I had to click that twice. Now, you notice that I've got 3 weeks worth of interventions for Gina in literacy lessons. I already have 5 weeks in for James Smith, because I've been putting data in to use for this demonstration. Another thing that I can do is I can go over here and say Show Record. And if I click on Show Record, now I get a whole summary of the intervention. So it shows me all the information about my student, what information there is right now about what intervention that she's receiving, some summary statistics, so I can see I've had 14 lessons, it's never been absent, it's been unavailable once, the teacher's never been absent, I've never been unavailable. We've had an average of 4.67 lessons per week, and we've averaged a gain of 0.33 text reading levels per week, and 5.33 words per week in writing vocabulary. So this is really all there is to adding weekly data. In the next session, I'm going to take a look at adding assessment data, and then we're going to go on and look at looking at charts. I will tell you right now that the charts button is right here, and this add new button right here allows us to add another week of records. So let's say that we're looking here, we're just kind of looking and we're like, oh, wait a minute, I've got to put in my data for this week. We can just go ahead and add new. And notice, see the pop-up window, add a new weekly record to this intervention. So there's a lot of tool tips. If you hover over things, they will help you understand what you're looking at in the database. So for this session, that's it. That's how you add weekly data. Next time, like I said, we'll take a look at adding assessment data.